just got the rig all fired up. Remember, we are on mountain time where we're at, so that means it's 7:32 a.m. back home. Welcome back though to today's show. Excited to bring you along for another road trip day. Hoping we can log as many miles underneath our belt and get really dang close to Knoxville, Iowa by the end of it. I think we'll probably have to finish off a small part of the drive tomorrow morning. I said we're on the western side of Wyoming. We always enjoy stopping here at the Little America truck stop. There's a lot of places to park and sleep and kind of be safe with the rig. And when you're 81 feet long and you have a lot of valuables, that means a lot to our family operation. So stayed here for the night, got here about 1 a.m. We're back up now about 8:30, and like I said, we are gonna get trucking. So we stopped here in Laramie, Wyoming at the Lincoln Monument. It's just off the interstate. You can see it, and it's pretty cool. There's a look at Honest Abe, and they got a nice little tribute here for him. So I've been here a couple times and I didn't realize why this was here, but basically it sounds like because he was a big part of building the Lincoln Highway, which ran right over this summit. You know, we're pretty high up here in elevation, so they decided to put this here, and there's kind of a nice museum. So if you're ever rolling through, another great location to stop and see something you maybe have never seen before. Inside here they have a little map of Wyoming. So we're down south here, came in this way, follow through. We're here right now. We just got to go through Cheyenne, and then we will be in Nebraska. Little fun fact about myself, never really enjoyed school, never enjoyed learning or sitting in a classroom, but history, I always enjoyed learning about history. Kind of a nerd for it, definitely enjoy stopping and checking out things like this or little museums, just something where you can, it sounds cheesy, but learn about all the things that happened before we were here. We got such a long trip, just wanted to check and make sure everything's okay in here. The last thing we want to do is travel thousands of miles and never check in on any of our equipment, and we get to where we're going and it's all thrashed around. The meal looks like it's tied down, car looks all right, and we are going to get back after it. Where are we?
Just got into Nebraska. Go Huskers.
Not too bad, but for the first time during our travels, I can feel the humidity. And the farther east we go, I know it's only gonna get worse. Here out of Loves, we just crossed into the central time zone, so now we're technically 2 hours ahead of home. Gonna need a wash on the RV before we get to Knoxville. So getting back on the road, we're getting ready to turn on the Eldor a Million, and if we drive through the night, or if we drive till late, I should say, be there at 12:05 a.m. So we just crossed into the money state in the final of the trip to at least get it started. Iowa. Now we're headed straight for Des Moines. Do you think you're gonna, now what do you think? You think you're gonna go all the way?
We'll see.
We'll see.
166 miles.
166 miles to go. It is 10:37. We got the Million on up here, got the Million on back there, so we've been tuning in, but just finishing off the last leg of the trip.
Dingus is closed.
Let's turn 1 and 2 right there. 43 hours after we left home, we have arrived in one of the greatest towns in all of the United States. Knoxville Raceway's over there. We got the Pizza Hut, the Rib Shack, Dingus, Casey's General Store. Everything that I remember from when we were here 2 years ago, and dang, it feels good to be back. So we got the car out and we're going through everything after the trip. So glad that we kind of have a rest day after traveling 1,800 miles, kind of get the opportunity to go through every part of our program and finish things up before, you know, we get the racing part of the trip started. And I have to say, it is just so dang cool being here in Knoxville, Iowa. Like, I'm totally being a fanboy. I went on a run this morning, kind of through, I guess what would be the main strip of the town, and just taking it all in. I've been here before, which I'm glad I have one time, so it doesn't all feel so new, but it just feels so good to be back. Just every part about it. You know, we're parked over here in this parking lot. The racetrack, if you turn, is just over here. And for anyone who's never been here before, like, I'm not joking when I'm saying this is all right in the middle of town. You can see the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum. This is just right outside turn 2. And then across the street is a Casey's General Store. Casey's General Store has phenomenal soft serve ice cream. If there's one thing you probably learned about me on this trip, I absolutely love soft serve. So you just go in there, you get a cone, you go underneath the machine, and you just fill that thing up. And then now you can see the turn 2 fence at Knoxville. And just while you're driving by, you can see the grandstands at this place. You know, a guy like me, I come from the West Coast where dirt racing just doesn't mean the same thing. It's incredible to see how many people this place can hold just by looking at the grandstands on this side, and there's another big one on the backstretch. Here we are, Sprint Car Capital of the World. There's another sign over that way. And immediately as you walk in, you go underneath the Ralph Capitani Avenue of Champions. So anybody that has won the most prestigious sprint car race in the world, the Knoxville Nationals, what we're here for, is on one of these poles. They have the year marked and they have the winner marked. This is pretty crazy in itself. It feels like you're walking through sprint car history. So they have some sort of fair deal going on with the concert in the infield right now that they're testing for later this evening inside the racetrack. But I was able to make my way up top of the grandstands and look at this view. Another thing, being from the West Coast, it's crazy to see how big this racetrack is. I mean, you could fit, like our local speedways that are little quarter miles, you could fit so many of them inside this place. I think that, along with, I talked about the history, like I'm a history nerd, especially in sprint car racing, and so many iconic moments, iconic drivers, you know, things that you see on TV have happened on these fairgrounds. Literally just right here. And we are here this year to compete and, you know, try to be a part of the history. So I'm gonna try to walk up to the racetrack now. And here's a look at turn 4. Just saw a water truck roll by not too long ago. They're of course gonna be preparing the surface for this Saturday weekly show. And I'm glad we're out here now because we're gonna get such a great opportunity to get laps before all these big races. You know, some guys don't get that chance and they just show up at the big show and they do all they can. Or of course all the Top World of Outlaw guys, I mean, they've been here several times. But for someone like me that doesn't get to run big half miles, doesn't get, you know, that feel of the more aero racing and a lot more wing speed and putting your car in position. You know, us, we come from bull rings where we mash the gas, run against a big curb, you're sideways a lot more, and you just try to drive it as hard as you can. You have to do that here, but it's so much more about being straight and, you know, hitting your marks and just carrying so much momentum and running guys down and making it happen. So the traveling part of our trip is over. We have made it to Knoxville, Iowa. We've literally made it to the racetrack. We're gonna enjoy this concert later this evening, have a great Friday night, get some sleep, and then we'll be back tomorrow for all business. Got to get our car out here, see how we unload, see where we're at, and then start working on any problems that we run into as far as just trying to make it better. As like I said, we're just not used to, you know, running on a place like this, and we just don't have a lot of notes for Knoxville, so we want to add to that notebook and continue doing that throughout the month. Thank you guys so much for watching. Feels so dang good to be here. I'm so excited. You can probably tell by the smile on my face, but I'm gonna get out of this humidity, stay cool, go check on the race car, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for our first night at Knoxville in 2023. Deuces.